Chapter 4: Successful Success. In a vast auditorium, a motivational coach commands the stage, has every eye on him as he says,
"Tonight, I'm gonna teach you how to become a millionaire overnight. But first, tell me, how much was the ticket to my training?"
Someone shouts from the crowd,
$1,000.
"Right, and how many people have come?"
Someone from the staff says,
1,000 people.
The coach to the crowd,
"And that's how you do it. Thank you for your attention."
The mindset of a millionaire, affirmations, visualizations, black magic, white magic, occultism, positive thinking, negative thinking, self-empowerment, success, 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 are among the horse crap that a vast number of online gurus and influencers try to feed you with, my friend. This chapter will contain lots of hate for one simple reason. People do fool other people, and it is undoubtedly wrong. But those who make money off other people's misery, sorrow, and depression deserve a special cauldron in hell. Don't get me wrong. There are many people out there who share their experiences, thoughts, and knowledge they have obtained while coping with their life. And those are decent folks who only try to illuminate our dark paths and prevent us from making terrible and painful mistakes, or try to rectify the past mistakes by finding solutions, or help us get back on our feet. However, they all have the same flaw, the one I attempt to put across through the chapters of this book. They all communicate to you that at the end of the day it is you responsible for your life. It is you who has to make a decision to become a better person. It is you who has to make a decision to let go when there's already nothing or no one to hold on to. It is you who has to strive and be disciplined to achieve the things you are shooting for. And the truth is, it all sounds way less appealing in comparison to the idea that there are ways to have everything you want only by imagining it, and telling yourself day and night that you are already awesome and successful. The healthiest thing one can tell you when you are feeling completely down and crashed: get your shit together. Preferably in a less rude manner. But before you are ready to accept this advice and push yourself up from rock bottom, depressed and broken, you are very likely to fall into traps of all sorts of gurus who will stretch out their helping hand for you to put a dollar bill in it. And the more devastated and broken you are, the more gullible and thereby profitable you end up being to them. Your misery is their bread and butter. Keep that in mind. Things like the law of attraction, positive thinking, a successful mindset, and other black magic are not only defective, but also very dangerous and destructive for your mental health. Yes, positive thinking too. There are a few powerful weapons, however, that may help you dodge the scammers: critical thinking and overall happiness. Having both checked on the list of your characteristics will improve your resistance to bullshit drastically. The enchanting starts by making you believe the image of this extremely wealthy and successful person before your eyes, who used to be as poor and broken as you currently are. And since they have reached the top of the world, usually in financial terms, they are willing to share their knowledge with you because they unquestionably and absolutely, 100% care about nothing else but your personal happiness. But one image is never enough, so there will be more people with doctorates and other possible degrees. It is not just anyone who speaks to you, but a highly educated individual, that you of course will never spare a moment to verify. They will constantly be repeating the same idea, interweaving it with terms like quantum physics, the universe, and space, for example, just to dispel your doubts that their idea has a scientific background. When I got a recommendation to read The Secret, I didn't really treat it like anything serious and hence was highly annoyed that all those people repeated the same thing over and over. But apparently, that was the method to imprint the theses deep into my brain. Big names are also required. All those successful people you and I might know were not just intelligent, talented, and dedicated. They didn't spend countless hours working hard or practicing, of course not. They simply knew the secret. And if not the secret, then they knew some magic or practiced esoteric or occultism, or they were aliens, or Masons, or Illuminati, or whatever else that comes to your mind, but please, please, stay away from mentioning the word work. To achieve anything, work is the least necessary endeavor. By painting a bright picture of the perfect future that requires no effort to achieve, they intentionally trigger your brain and your self-esteem to get you hooked up. You may not realize it. Your brain does though, but the most important person for you is you. That's why it becomes so easy to compare yourself only to someone who has achieved something huge and ignore millions that have not. It is so obvious that you are not one of them losers. It is just like with the lottery. Seeing an example of one lucky person winning a crapload of money makes your brain unconsciously believe you can pull it off too, ignoring the actual statistics of millions and millions of less fortunate folks who haven't won a dime. To hook you up even more, first, they teach you to visualize the little things you want to attract. Craving chicken for dinner? Very nice. Now all you have to do is think about chicken all day, and don't forget to buy it on your way home, and sure enough, in the evening, you'll have it. Do it repeatedly, and you will have no doubt that the law of attraction really works. You just have to know how to communicate with the powerful and generous universe. A piece of cake. Everyone is capable of being truly happy. You just need to ask. I would have no problem with people who sell this kind of content if they were selling it as fiction or humor, not self-help literature. Because in reality, they do not teach you how to solve your problems at all. They sell you dreams that your problems have already been solved, presenting it as some sacred knowledge, and the price is way higher than just money. You settle the debt with your precious time and, unfortunately, your mental health. Your brain is not your ally here. The addictiveness of the illusion of easily accessible success can be explained if you recall the brain reward system from Chapter 1. Consuming book after book, attending seminars, or whatever other way you prefer to communicate with the great enlighteners, makes your brain reward you with increased dopamine, for you have made another meaningful step towards your cherished dreams, while in reality, you have wasted your time on an illusion instead of doing some real work to progress forward. Before buying their so-called knowledge, they did their best to persuade you that it was not your fault that you couldn't become the person you wanted to be. After you get sucked in, they start holding you responsible for no progress, which was not meant to happen in the first place, because now it is your fault that you haven't been following specific steps or methods thoroughly. For your own money, you buy a proud ribbon that says, "Guilty." And what is truly awful is that it is most hopeless and desperate people who fall for this crap. It is people who have lost their way and mistakenly take the red glows of hell in front of them for the long-awaited dawn. You can achieve everything that you can imagine in your head. You have what you have asked for. It is that simple. The secret is simple. You damned motivators, take a little pause from counting your god-damned money, and repeat the same nonsense looking into the eyes of terminally ill children. Take a minute to enlighten them that their illness is their fault. Teach them how to visualize a healthy and carefree childhood. This world is full of shit, accidents, wars, unexpected deaths, toxicity, and broken hearts, but I guess we just need to stop thinking about it, and problems will magically solve themselves. Positive thinking and all sorts of affirmations are the same kinds of horse crap as the law of attraction, just from a different perspective. Critical thinking, that's your weapon, my friend. It is very encouraging to tell yourself that you are great and successful, when you are great and successful. But it is absolutely destructive and mentally damaging to be inside the burning house and be optimistic about it. Don't confuse affirmations with self-lies. Take care of yourself because no one else will. It is your job to fill a bucket with water and put the fire out. Otherwise, you will positively burn down to the ground with that darn house. If you are unhappy, acknowledge it and take all possible steps you can to change it. Telling yourself otherwise will only make you delusional, not happy. Get a grip before your crumbling dream world flattens you under a concrete slab of reality and makes you positively think to push a delete button. So I hope you, my friend, as an advanced player, who has wisely unlocked the perks of critical thinking and logic, will use the pages of whatever sacred manuscript you've got your hands on properly, to kindle up your grill, and cook the steak the universe has generously sent you. A different kind of species, yet not less of a devil, are dealers of successful success. The pickup and hookup tactics are about the same. Their goal is to make you super rich, or actually, entice you into purchasing their book or a course of lectures about how to manage your finances, because it is the only thing you lack to become another Warren Buffett. The most evident sign of this kind of hustlers is that they are always arrogant, flexing about their wealth, houses, exotic cars, and other sorts of valuable stuff to attract more and more fresh blood to the rows of their successfully successful sect. Kings of success with low budget prefer using clickbait to grab your attention. Stop doing what poor people do. Think like a millionaire. Sleep for 1.5 hours a week to unlock your full potential. Stop masturbating on Tuesdays to conquer the world in 2 weeks. You've got the idea. They are well aware that the only ones who benefit from all that window dressing and shit they sell are them, but again, they don't care about anyone else. Few might even drop to the level of humiliating their followers by yelling at them and calling them losers. And without wiping dripping piss off their faces, the humble congregation will be bleeding and thanking their God for powerful motivation. But you, my friend, keep in mind that those who truly understand how to generate money are occupied with the actual task. They don't run around in search of someone to enrich. And if someone is that concerned about your buck, maybe, just maybe, it is because they are profiting off you. The most significant damage these so-called coaches, gurus, and influencers do to society is that they take the tiniest percentage of cases and blow them up to be reality. They are promoting the model of a world where the word success and the word dollar seem interchangeable, and everyone is a loser until they are at least a millionaire. They usually tend to crap all over blue-collar folks who do their regular job, and those are 98% of the population, and never explain who exactly will make businesses work and bring profits if everyone is busy chilling at their yacht, lighting up a cigar from a $100 bill. Imagine the number of people involved in the manufacturing and supply chains of something like a laptop, only for some jerk to connect it to the internet and say on camera, "You all are losers because I'm rich and you're not." Falling for sweet promises, you may and will eventually find yourself in a stressful situation of being burnt out and feeling somewhat defective, because motivators have never mentioned that hard work increases the chances to succeed but doesn't always lead to success. Statements like this don't sell well. It is the bitter truth that not every person who burns their ass off gets what they actually deserve in the end. Life is unfair, and it is all right. And as far as I am here not to sell shit, I will let myself remind you, my friend, about one key factor that spoils everything in the perfect formula work achieved. The powerful and uncontrollable by any one force called random. Almighty random has control over so many things in our life that dismissing its existence would be utterly ridiculous. I would even say that unfortunately for us, there's too much randomness in our everyday being. If we were to compare human life to an online game, then the number of unpredictable events would quickly turn away any gamer. Even the chances to connect to the server called the Earth are pretty much non-existent. 1 to 400 million multiplied by another billion. This impressive number is called a quadrillion, and it describes the chance of a newborn person to be exactly you. So, after scoring your own birth, it would make no sense whatsoever to identify yourself as unlucky. But randomness doesn't stop here. Things like the country and family your character will originate from, and your starting health points, are no less crucial and simultaneously no less random than the birth itself. And all that set of accidental combinations has a direct influence on the mode you will play on, and you haven't started playing yet. The good news is that there will be a few advanced players around you to give you a tutorial and protect you while you are getting used to the game. The bad news is there's no such thing as a save button in the game, and that god-darned randomness can disconnect you from the server at any time, despite your level and overall statistics. Recognizing possible dangers will give you a better chance to avoid them. You are way less likely to be hit by a car if you don't run across a road at the red light. Still, since it is impossible to calculate and predict absolutely everything in this cruel world, especially the careless behavior of some players, accidents do happen. And the fact that it may be exactly you who can be affected, well, random. An essential skill amidst this chaos is knowing what lies within your control and what is beyond your influence. Why? Because caring too much about stuff that you can't change or control is a waste of your time and, more importantly, a waste of your precious mental health. There are tons of things you will never be able to achieve because of a variety of reasons, and it is all right. Different people have different skills, resources, abilities, conditions, connections, and so on. The fact that one can achieve something doesn't imply you should be able to do it too. The final result consists of a vast number of decisions that were made or not made, various risks that were taken or not taken, different people who helped you on your way up, and a bunch of other random events that happened or not happened to you. The phrase, "thorny path to the stars," may sound inspiring, but in reality, it is an unsteady house of cards. Take one card out of the construction, and everything falls apart. You will never replicate someone else's story. Don't try. Write your own instead. Finding inspiration from someone you consider successful can work on you as a great source of extra motivation only if you do not forget that you are your own individual, distinct from them. You are a different person with your steps to take and your own mistakes to make. Comparing yourself to those labeled as success stories can be destructive and dangerous. Most of those people fall under the category of survival bias. The stories we hear are from a minority, leaving out the struggles and failures faced by the majority. The inability to repeat someone's accomplishments makes people belittle their own achievements and progress, develop anxiety, and feel like losers. Remember, progress is the process of becoming a better self, not better than someone else. And what is it? Success. Our brains have been washed up for decades that success equals wealth and fame. But, is it though? Take some time to think about what success means for you. Then do another research and ask folks around you why they want to be rich. I bet most of them will tell you things like, "I would buy a huge house by the ocean," or, "I would buy a bunch of supercars, clothes, watches, whatever." Translation: I would consume more and surround myself with expensive things, so everyone around can see how successful I am. They would love me, and it would boost my non-existent self-esteem. Consuming tons of content about success makes many people set unrealistic goals and work their asses off, trying to achieve unachievable goals. They desperately want to get to the top, but never really enjoy the journey. Here's another thought from Winston Churchill. Success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. That kind of success is achievable only if you genuinely love and enjoy what you do. It is not the final result that is important, but the process of achieving the result. If you want to write a book only to become a best-selling author, don't start writing. If you want to play a musical instrument only to become a famous musician, don't start playing. If you keep doing something only for the sake of the final outcome, don't do it, because the anguish from a highly potential failure will inflict deep and lasting damage. By chasing dollars, we are willingly missing things that could genuinely make us happy. The awareness that you've been chasing a dream that wasn't even yours usually comes when it is already too late to make any changes. Cold regrets about wasted and god darn it, such a short life, come for dessert. And then you die.